Hello, we are live, but whenever you're joining us, you're welcome. We thank you so much for watching with us today. This is, of course, Horn Lake Connect, and we are in Horn Lake, Mississippi. But hey, if you're not in Horn Lake, Mississippi, and you stumble across this video, you're welcome to watch it. Hopefully, we say something that's going to help you guys. So, in today's
And I'm Patricia.
Oh, I didn't introduce. I'm Larry. This is Patricia. So today we're going to talk about something. Hopefully you saw the title, and hopefully that's going to show you what we're talking about. But we're basically talking about sometimes we as Christian people, and we're just here to help with that Christian walk. If you're a brand new Christian, if you've been a Christian for a while, we all need guidance. We all need help. So that's what we're here for. And if you do have questions, of course, you can leave a comment below. But we also have our email address, which is hornlakeconnect@gmail.com. So you can send a question or whatever, and hopefully we'll get back to you. Remember, I'm Larry. This is Patricia. So what's on your mind this wonderful day?
So, I met a business owner, and she said something that has stuck with me all week. And she said, this opportunity that was presented for her business, she said, well, maybe it's not God's will for me to do it because there were obstacles that were in the way. There were two things that came up. And she said, well, maybe it's just not God's will for me to do this because these obstacles came up. So in life, have you ever had a dream or had a thought to do something, and then obstacles came in the way or presented themselves, and then you thought, maybe that's a sign that I am not to pursue or move any further? And so as I was discussing with my husband Larry about this concept, then we thought about different aspects in the Bible that we can glean from. So the title, you said, is this not God's will? So as we're looking at this, we think about the story even of Joseph, and we know that Joseph had a dream, had a couple of dreams, visions, or what.
And that starts at
and
Genesis.
that starts Genesis 37. And the first dream that he had was just the picture of his position in the future. And so Genesis 37 verse number 5, it says, now Joseph had a dream and he told it to his brothers. They hated him even more. So he had already been sharing what God was showing him. And he said to them, hear this dream. I have dreamed. Behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and behold, my sheep arose, stood straight upright. And behold, your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheep. Really showing, because of course they were in an agrarian society. So the wheat, that's the sheaves, right? So his was elevated above them, showing that he was going to have leadership. And so if he had of really listen to what the brothers were saying, because that they were being combative, and as we progress into the story of Joseph, he really encountered a lot of obstacles. So when we have a dream, a vision, or what have you, we have to make sure that we are cognizant of not what's going on externally, but what is God speaking to us. So looking internally to and listening to the voice of God, because if we look at what the outside circumstances are showing us, we will always run away. We will always abort what God is trying to do in our lives.
Yeah, and if you look at the description that I have for the video, I list Philippians, where it says I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So as Patricia was saying, if you're looking at outside forces, they're always going to appear greater than what you can do, right? Because that's true. Things are greater than you, right? So that's why that verse says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So we're looking at his strength and not trying to do things on our own strength. So it's showing us that we have someone that we can lean on, that we can depend on to get us through those tough times and those hard times. And I wanted to quickly just go over, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but if we look at Luke chapter 18, there's a parable there that Jesus teaches. And it's the parable of the persistent widow. And in this, there's a judge in the land who does not fear God. He doesn't fear man. He's like a tough bulldog judge, right? So this widow comes to the judge and she wants justice, right? She wants what's right for her. She wants, the things that she needs to support her family and whatever she needs, because she needs it. So she goes up to the judge and she just continually asks for justice on her behalf in this matter. She keeps coming back, keeps coming back, keeps coming back. And normally, sometimes if we see an obstacle like that, we're like, wow, I went there the first time. I thought everything was going to go my way and it didn't. So I quit. Right. So, unfortunately, that's the attitude people have sometimes. But she kept going and kept going. Even after the second time, the third time, she just kept going. She didn't, I guess in her mind, she didn't have a set time, right? She said, I'm going to get justice. She saw what was on the other end. She saw what she needed. She needed justice on her behalf. So no matter what it took, she was going to get it. And this made the judge look at her and say, look, you're just going to keep coming at me. I'll just go ahead, even though I don't fear God, I don't fear man, but you just keep bugging me so bad that I'm just going to give you what you need so you can get away from me. And that's how we have to look at the situation sometimes. We have to look at it as, we can't let the thing wear us down. We have to persist and persist to keep going. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Sometimes we may want to quit or whatever, but the thing is, we have to keep going and know that God is on our side, especially if it's something that he has for us, that we know God's will. So we know that it's God's will for us to have, like, say, provision or a job or whatever it is. We shouldn't stop. And like I said, it's a hard thing, right? But we should know that God is with us, so that the only thing we can see is the prize. So that's what we're here to encourage you today, is that, no matter what things look like, don't lose heart, right? Don't look at a circumstance and think it's too big, because it probably is too big. But we have to know that we have to lean and depend on God to get those things that he has for us.
Yeah.
And I even like, well, I'll let you finish, but you said something about the hard.
Yeah, we have to choose our hard.
Yeah, we have to choose our hard.
So
HARD.
HARD.
We have to choose our hard.
So choose what hard we're going to really concentrate on. The hard part of persisting and plowing through and knowing that if God has said, Jane, I want you to open a business, or Jane, I want you to start this ministry, or Jane, I want you to impact your community in this way. And then when there are obstacles, that's the hard part of really fighting against our own selves and fighting against those thoughts and the negativity. Or we can choose the hard, HARD, of settling. And when you settle for less than what God has for you, less than the mission that God intended for you, that's hard as well, because you're always going to be thinking about what if I had have persisted, what would things look like? And the older you get and the more you progress in life, that's a hard spot to be in. The most difficult thing to do is sit with an older person and then hear about the regret that they've had in their life. That's tough, right? So we have to understand, if we belong to God, and that means we've given our lives to him, we know that now we're in the kingdom of God and we have his backing. That does not mean things are simple. It means that in the hard places, we know that we have help. We have strength that is rooted and grounded in God.
That's right. And read that.
And so Matthew 7:7 talks about knock and keep knocking, and the door will be open for you. For everyone who asks and keeps asking receives. He who seeks and keeps seeking finds. So you see the persistency in that verse. It's not a one-time thing of when you made a decision to do something. It's just that one time. We have to make the decision every day to trust and believe that, okay, this is what God wants us to do.
Yeah. So we want to encourage you guys with that. And just like the description says, the saying is when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So we hear that, and then it's just time to put it in action, knowing that we have the backing of Jesus with us. We have his strength, not just our own strength. So we just want to encourage you guys with that. And thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you do have any questions or prayer request, you can email us. It's in the description. It's in the description of the channel description. It is hornlakeconnect at gmail.com. So feel free to leave an email and a prayer request, and we will be praying on those things, and just doing all that stuff, answering your questions, all that stuff. So thank you so much for watching. And like I said, we're in Horn Lake, Mississippi. But if you're not in Horn Lake, Mississippi, we hope you got from this video anyway. And we'll see you next time when we do another video. And thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.